Welcome back. Of course, this is the Daybreak Africa, and if you're just joining us, I still remain Michael Obagiri. Today we have a very interesting topic before us, talking about the agitation over Governor Akeredolu's whereabouts, the effect of his absence on the welfare of the state. And today we have a very wonderful person, our own wonderful analyst in the studio, to do justice to this wonderful topic in person of Sam Olorunfemi. A very good morning to you.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
Angela, good morning.
Angela, I don't know if you usually notice this for the past few weeks now. The way Mr. Sam usually goes on is kind of very.
In fact, it needs to be a special greeting.
All right.
Exactly.
Especially anytime I have Angela and Michael in the building, you know, it must be a very special greeting. I think I was here some time ago talking about this issue of Ondo politics, Akeredolu whereabouts, and so on and so forth, prisoner no impeachment, and I think this one is coming out now, you know, and it's taking new dimension, the whereabouts, you know. Like, when I say a whereabouts of a particular person, maybe that person has been declared missing. maybe that person maybe you send him on an errand and you don't see him, and
is he coming back?
Where's the whereabouts? Although if you are to look at it, Angela and Michael, all our political office holders, we use our vote on the day of election to send them on an errand. You know, in fact, most of them, they tell you that they are our servant, public servant. I could remember the former governor of Niger State, Dr. Babangida Aliu. You know, then he do refer to himself as chief servant of the people of Niger State. So I think all political office holders, whether at the local level, at the state level, even the Mr. President, you know, Mr. President cannot be president if some people did not go out on the election day to use their vote to say, okay, we are using our vote to send you to Aso Rock to go and be our president. So all of them, they are our servants. So we've sent them on an errand, whether at the local level to become a local chairman or a councillor, or whether at the state level as a member, House of Assembly, or as a governor, or at the federal level, federal legislator, whether as a House of Rep or Senate or Mr. President. So when I say someone whereabouts of Mr. Someone, you know, people often do say it in 2020, they use their vote to send Mr. Governor on an errand. Go and do this for us in the next 4 years. In 2016, it was sent on an errand in the 4 years. In 2020, they renewed the mandate. You know, I don't want to go into some issue, because I could remember when the former governor of Edo State, Lucky Igbeneghu, when he was running for second time in office, coincidentally, his father happened to be the Oba of Benin then. And during the campaign, Oba was like, my son is seeking election in office. Because and this issue of statement is that a child can repeat a child can repeat the class. Didn't do well. If he didn't do well in the first time, then a child can repeat a particular class. No, in 2020, the people of Ondo State used their vote again to send Mr. Governor on another errand, a political errand now, that go and do this for us in terms of infrastructure, health-wise, education, employment, and so on and so forth in the next 4 years. So if people of Ondo State are asking, is it what led me to this issue of whereabouts? This issue of whereabouts of the Mr. Governor? You said that. So if people of Ondo State say that, where's Mr. Governor? So I think it is not out of context, Michael and Angela, for people asking, where is the governor? I could remember when I was staying with my parents, maybe I was in an errand, few minutes, 3 minutes, they did not see me, they'll be looking at where's and you know. So but we must understand that in democratic system of government, we must allow people to have say in government. That's why I do tell people that if during electionary campaign season you see politicians moving from one place to another, seeking vote. In fact, it is that particular time you see them on the road, buy roasted corn, roasted plantains, sitting with people, fry piece cake. As well as side of in fact, most of them we even hawk. You say now, we see some politicians, the one that just ran in the just congressional election in Kogi State that came third now. We also saw in Abuja hawking, you understand now, prior to election. But and by that time, you see our politicians identify with people, telling them that they will go there and be their voice and so on. So I think we must allow people to exercise that right, and it is their right under the law to ask whereabout is Mr. Governor. And today now makes it 2 months, 2 weeks. 2 months, because exactly 7th of September, Mr. Governor returned to Nigeria. And he landed in Ibadan. You understand now? So exactly today is 21st of November, if I'm right now. So exactly 2 months, 2 weeks, now Mr. Governor returned to Nigeria, but yet to step his foot down to the state. But again, Angela, like because I've discussed this in many media outfits, again, let's pray for the quick recovery of Mr. Governor, because I do tell people that nobody's immune to fall ill. You know, we are all human beings. Me that is talking here, in most cases I do fall ill, I take those and so on and so forth, and we must understand the animosity of governors. If you are a governor, Angela, today you meet, tomorrow you meet, papers on your table, files, attending meetings from one place to another. In fact, I was telling someone that when you look at section 190 of the Nigerian 1999 Constitution, that talks about when Mr. Governor is living, and it's not peculiar to those governor, governors now, when they are living for vacation, and you used to ask me that why is it that place is not, it doesn't capture deputy governor, that when deputy governor is going on, because in Nigeria, Angela, since 1999, I've never seen where deputy governor will go on a leave. I've never seen that. It's only governors you see that they are going on annual leave. So it shows the animosity of the assignment, how enormous that assignment, that office is. That's why you see most of them going on leave, handing over to their deputies to continue and so on and so forth. And I think on this EU, and I think a lot of things played out in Ondo State. We saw where some commissioners now, where they signed or they passed vote of confidence on Mr. Governor and so on and so forth and so forth. And if you ask me, I will tell you that we perform respect to them. I think that is highly inconsequential to what is going on. Passing vote of confidence on Mr. Governor and so on
exactly.
And so to me, that one is quite inconsequential, because sorry, make you see in Nigeria, you discover that what we practice is what we call a presidential system of government, not parliamentary system of government. It's only in UK and some countries you see that they practice parliamentary system of government, whereby they use prime minister and they use monarchy system of government. In UK now, they use monarchy system of government, even though they have a prime minister. And you see that the appointment of prime minister is able to be by ratification of the House of Commons. That is what we call their parliament now. And anytime they want any prime minister to out of office, we saw how Boris Johnson now, was moved out of office in the year of maybe COVID-19 and so on and so forth. We saw that of Theresa May, David Cameron, and so on and so forth now. So it is then those places that they can pass vote of confidence and to say that, okay, we are enjoying what you are doing. But in a presidential system of government, it builds on at the state level, State House of Assembly, at the federal level, National Assembly now, to pass the vote of confidence, whether as Mr. President or Mr. Governor, as the case may be. So set of people that can pass vote of confidence on Mr. Governor to tell you that Mr. Governor, we are enjoying what you are doing, are our lawmakers. Because lawmakers, they are the one representing us. That's why we call them our representatives. They are there to represent us. Commissioners, they are not representing us, they are representing the governor, because they were selected by Mr. Governor. But lawmakers, they were voted for. We call them our lawmakers, our representatives. They are our voice in government. So they are the one under our presidential system of government as enshrined in Nigerian 1999 Constitution as amended. They are the one that can pass the vote of confidence on Mr. Governor to say, okay, because if my lawmaker representing my constituency now should pass the vote of confidence on Mr. Governor, automatically is passing it on my behalf, because it's my lawmaker, is the one representing me, and so on and so forth. And for commissioners coming out, those states, passing vote of confidence on Mr. Governor, well, it's good, it's your back, but people will tell you that who pays the pipers will be able to dictate the tunes. You understand now? And Mr. Governor, and what they are trying to do to me, we perform respect once again, cannot substantiate what we have under section 189 of the Nigerian 1999 Constitution, Michael. Because when you look at under that section, that place talks about that when a governor is incapacitated. You know, what is in the media now, in the news now, is that is governor incapacitated? Can he continue discharging the function again, or what's really happened? That people want to know what the state of affairs of Mr. Governor.
Exactly. That is where I really want to come in now. I want to be very clear on this. I'm sure that there's a certain amount of time that you can be out of the country, being a governor or a president, before maybe being rendered incapacitated, or maybe talking about impeachment. There's a time that you can. There's a time limit for you. Now, he has been back for almost two months
and 2 weeks.
2 weeks
Today now.
He's in Ibadan.
Yes.
Now, anybody we say is within the country.
Yes.
We don't know if there's a place in the constitution that speaks about states, apart from because now he's in the country.
Yes.
But of course, we need him in the states. Now, the medias are saying we should be rendered. People are saying that it should be there. A lot of agitation that he should be declared incapacitated, or if he cannot continue. We want to know what is going on. No information so far. Now, concerning that is in Nigeria but not in the state, is there a place provided in the constitution that he can be rendered incapacitated because he's still in Nigeria but not in the state?
You see, Michael, when you look at our constitution, is very ambiguous. Our constitution, very the ambiguity in our constitution is highly enormous. When you look at our law, you from chapter 1 down to the last chapter of the constitution, there's no way that says that a governor cannot be in another state. There's no law that says that. But in another case, the law said that the seat of power, shall be at the capital. Each state with their capital. Ondo, our capital is in Akure. Osun, the capital is in Osogbo. So in Osun, in Ondo now, the seat of power must be in Akure. That's why when you go to Akure, we have what we call government house, governor's office. That office is for governor, but that house there, we don't call it governor's house, we call it government house. The government is for everybody, because the money used to build that particular government house happens to be taxpayers' money. The money used to renovate that particular government house is a taxpayers' money. So anything going to that particular government house is coming from the sweat of the good people of Ondo State. Now, what the law says in the place that the seat of power shall be the state capital. But in this context, we've never heard or seen that the seat of power has been moved from Akure to Ibadan. You understand now? You understand now? So the seat of power is still in Akure. If today now, if you are talking about state capital now, you say Akure, you know say Ibadan. But it's just that the occupant of that particular house now, at this particular moment, as enshrined in our law now, is not residing in Akure, is in Ibadan for now. So when you go to our law, there's no law that says that if Michael is a governor of a particular state, that Michael cannot be in another state. But what the law says that the seat of power shall be in that particular place. But see, the issue of what I'm talking about, there's a limit to which a governor can be in, as I say, that place has been settled by section 190 subsection B of the Nigerian 1999 constitution. Now, that's why state assembly now needs to come in this particular matter. But what that place is talking about is that when the governor is not around, and there's nothing like maybe delegation of power to the deputy governor to continue, and that's one of the reasons why we have deputy governor and so on and so forth. In case where governor is not around, then deputy can continue. Don't forget, in the first place, when he was away for some months now in Germany now, the power was transmitted to the deputy governor. Akeredolu was acting in acting capacity, not until when Mr. Governor arrived in Nigeria on the 7th, like I mentioned, on the 7th of September, and on the 8th, a transmitted letter to the State House of Assembly, received by the Speaker in Ibadan as well. That letter was received in Ibadan to tell you that I'm back now, then let me continue discharging my duty as a governor of a state. See, there's much lacuna in our constitution. That's why some people are saying that this constitution, we must throw it away entirely and write another constitution, because there's a lot of issues in this our constitution. There's some things that when this constitution being drafted, those who drafted it, they did not envisage that something like this might happen. And that's why, Angela, when you look at our law, constitution says that there's room for amendment. In case something happened, I could remember when this former governor of Kogi died towards the election. You know, we don't have a provision in the law that maybe towards the election, the candidate in that election will die. But he died. And it gave a lot of room for constitutional crisis in Nigeria. And people are like, we don't have any place in law that can rectify this. And again, in fact, it caused problem. But today now, that place has been rectified in our law. That if such will happen again, whether at the federal level, if election is going on, and maybe someone who project, because at that particular time Abaka had been projected that he will win that particular election, but he died before the official announcement. So there has been a kind of readjustment in our law. If such will happen today, the law says the running mate in that particular, no, he ran with J. Faleke then. No, Faleke is from Kogi West, Okosai, and people were like, okay, this will be the turn of Yoruba to become governor in Kogi State. At the end of the day, they were given to Akeredolu, who ran with Audu in primary of that particular election. So that place has been settled in our law that if such will happen today, the running mate will continue at that particular election. So a lot of things, Michael, that are happening today that our law, our constitution did not envisage that something like this might happen. So another thing is the issue of Mr. Governor out of the state for 2 months and 2 weeks. Now, what Section 190 is talking about is that anytime that Mr. Governor is proceeding on vacation or medical leave, law said that he shall transmit, you have to transmit a letter to the State House of Assembly transferring power from yourself to your deputy. But now, the motive and the way they are painting it now, they are not painting it as if Mr. Governor is on vacation. So let us mean they are painting it or they are making it to look alike that Mr. Governor is on vacation. Automatically, the deputy governor must come to take in charge. And we know what is playing. You know, say this issue of impeachment or no impeachment between House of Assembly and the deputy. If not, automatically the deputy governor is supposed to be in power now. And what is happening is not new. Let me cast your memory back to what happened some years back in Taraba State, down Babasuntai, former governor of Taraba State, when he tried to fly himself and he had a plane crash at the end of the day. For some months as well, he did not come. And he was ruling outside, incapacitated in Taraba State. We saw it during the time of Yadua. When Yadua was away in this country, he did not come back and he did not transmit letter for Jonathan to become the acting president. In fact, it was the late Minister of Information, former DG of NADAC, Professor Dora Akuluri, that raised the alarm under our law. Because in this scenario, as the case of governor, Section 188 is talking about the removal of governor and the deputy governor. That one is coming from the State House of Assembly. But under Section 189 that I made mention, that I believe that made the commissioners now to pass their vote of confidence, that one is talking about the removal of governor based on incapacitated, because that was Section 189 is talking about, that whenever the governor is being rendered incapacitated and the executive council will be the one to raise the alarm that our governor, the person we are working with, because when you look at governance, they are the one working closely with governor, executive member, the commissioner. So that places that when the executive council raised the alarm, the way it was Dora Michael that raised the alarm under Jonathan, under Yadua, that Yadua highly incapacitated. Then it was one led to David Magdan as Senate President coming up with the doctrine of necessity. That now alarm has been raised by one of the members of the Federal Executive Council that Yadua incapacitated. Then they came up with what we call a doctrine of necessity. That was what made Jonathan to become the acting president at that particular time. So the same thing that is playing out in Ondo State. You know, people have been talking that if Mr. Governor is around, can he even do 5-minute video to tell the people of Ondo State, well, due to my health or due to the advice by my doctors and so on and so forth, I'm still in Ibadan relaxing. Don't forget that recently, governors, Southwest governors, apart from the governor of Osun, went to Ibadan to pay him a visit. We saw a video with no audio, because I tried to listen to that particular conversation between our governor and Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos, Daku of Ogun, BC Oyebanji of Osun, and Seyi Makinde, our landlord for now. Seyi Makinde. They were in that meeting, they were talking, but the person that recorded that video decided, or let me assume now, that I decided now to mute the audio of that particular meeting. And when they were going, you know, in a normal thing, Angela, if I governor, if Michael and I should come and pay you a visit in your office as your colleagues, normal thing is that you have to accompany us back to our vehicle. We did not see our governor accompany the 4 governors now to their vehicle. So that again raised another noise that what is really going on with the governor Akeredolu of Ondo State. People are from Ondo State. I've been following government activities since my daddy was in government between 1999 to 2009 in Ondo State. So I've been following government activity since 1999. So that's what people are saying, that where is Mr. Governor? Mr. Governor is here to, because when he was around on the 7th, people were expecting that latest the following week Mr. Governor will leave Ibadan and will come down to Ondo State. It was later we heard from SSA to Mr. Governor on special duty, said that they are renovating the government house. That the government house is not that conducive for Mr. Governor. And people were like, if we are renovating the government house, that one is simple. Show the pictures that we are renovating the government house to tell people that truly, due to the renovation of government house, Mr. Governor will not be around for now, and so on and so forth. But what we are saying is that, you see, we must get to a point in Nigeria that our democracy must be transparent in such a way that if you are a leader and you are a government, allow your people to hold you to account. Nobody is happy with what is happening. I'm talking about the health of Mr. Governor. Like I said, anybody can fall ill at any time. We are not strong, we are human beings. We move from one place to another. But at least let people understand what is going on. I said it and I'll continue to say it. If it is 5 minutes video, do it. Send it to your people of the state. Tell them the state of your health, this and this and that. People will continue. Don't forget, Angela, when Mr. Governor was away, people across the party device, they were praying for Mr. Governor for the quick return. Come down to Ondo State and continue your governance. And on the issue of, I didn't be EU of space since Mr. Governor had been away. Obviously, yes, because Mr. Governor was around during the 4 years, and people could see what happened under his regime. On the issue of Amatekun of 15, it was the one that championed the cause. In fact, that even led to EU between him and the immediate past Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, or the issue of granting Amatekun firearms and so on and so forth. Issue of Naira designing, we had its voice over the EU. Don't forget that period to the 2023 presidential election, when the issue of zoning coming on, that it should be the turn of the Southern Senatorial District or the Northern Senatorial District, we saw the Southern governors, under Nigerian Southern governors from Southeast, South, Southwest, they met in Asaba, tagged Asaba Declaration. It was one that shared that particular Asaba Declaration, and it made known that presidency must come down to the Southern region, whether Southeast, South, or Southwest, after the 8 years completion of President Muhammadu Buhari. So at that particular time, when he was around, people was hearing his voice. He was being vocal, championing cause, fighting for his people. Now that he's not around, the lacuna, the space is there. So people of Ondo State, they have the right to demand that where is whereabout. Let's go back to the issue of whereabout that we started from Nigeria. So people have the right to ask whereabout is their governor, because they voted for him through their vote that made him to become the governor. Like I said, now nobody can become governor without people's vote. Whether it will be rigged or not, at least some people must come out. Some vote must be counted on your behalf.
Okay. All right. Now, you've said a lot of things about the right of the citizens of the Ondo State asking the whereabouts of their governor. Now, we understand a lot of politics have been played on the ground, but you as a political analyst, I want you to vividly tell us what you think is really going on concerning the governor after his arrival. Let me say, is it some weeks? The sacking of the media aide of the deputy governor's office. This happened, and most people were like, what's really going on? Is it that there's a fight on the ground? You as a political analyst that understand politics, that understand what might be possibly be going on the underground, what do you think is playing out there?
I think, Mike, what is playing on in Ondo State is not new to me. Personally, because like I used to say, in 1983 we had the same team between Obagiri and Adashi. In 2015 we had the same team between Mimiko and Olorunfemi, deputy now. In 2020, the same thing between Governor Akeredolu and his former deputy, Agbola Ajayi. The same thing now in 2023 is playing out between Akeredolu and Lucky Aiyedatiwa. In summary, it's all about Ondo 2024. You know, we are done with Kogi, Imo, and Bayelsa. The next attention now is Edo and Ondo State. So it's all about 2024. And you know that in Ondo, we have 3 senatorial districts: Ondo South, Ondo Central, and Ondo North Central District. And if you have to look at it, now based on Section 14, subsection 4 of the Nigerian 1999 Constitution that talks about the composition of government that must reflect unity, justice, fairness, equity, and political balance. The next governorship seat in Ondo must go to Ondo South. The deputy governor of Ondo State is Ondo South, and it will tell you that he has the right under the law to contest to become the governor of the state. Don't forget what applied in Edo State now. Recently, we had the deputy governor of Edo State, now, saying that he want to take over from his master. So it's all about Ondo 2024, Michael. And when Mr. Governor was away, in fact, before Mr. Governor was away, people were like, they started seeing a body language of the deputy governor, try to show interest that he still want to take over the baton from his master. So people were like, when Mr. Governor was away on a medical vacation and when power was handed over to him, it was alleged that he wanted to use that opportunity to galvanize government paraphernalia so that he can equip himself to become the governor. I cannot substantiate that now because I wasn't there, but based on what we had then, that he wanted to become the governor of the state and so on and so forth, a lot of underground allegation and counter allegation. That was what, don't forget that immediately when Mr. Governor was arrived on the 7th, on the 8th, a transmitted letter that now back fully. A week after, we started hearing from the House of Assembly, impeachment notice, and so on. And so it's all about 2024 in Ondo State, knowing full well that the next governorship seat must go back to Ondo South, because that's formation. When Mabadi Farati was there between 1999 and 2003, Mabadi Farati was from Ondo North. When Agagun came over, from 2003 to 2009, Agun came from Ondo South. When Miko took over from Ondo Central. And when Akeredolu was coming in 2016, back to Ondo North, Akeredolu will be completing his 8 years in office automatically by February 2025. Now the next seat must go to Ondo South. So that has been the game in that game, 2024 in Ondo State politics. So I think that was what led to the issue of EU between him and the deputy and Mr. Governor. And when you look at our politics, in fact, it is becoming something that is now impossible now for deputies now to succeed their bosses now in Nigeria, because we see cases where deputy governors want to succeed their boss, something we played out, and you see their boss giving the ticket to another person. So that is what causing crisis in Ondo, especially between the deputy governor and the state House of Assembly. Recently, the national leadership of APC called some members of Ondo State House of Assembly, led by the Speaker of the House, to Abuja, just to resolve the EU and allow this EU of political temple to go down in the state. So we thought that would put an end to all these political shenanigans in Ondo State, removal of deputy governor, and so on and so forth. What did we see again? So that something emanated again, the of crisis, removes our governor, the deputy governor, no removes our deputy governor. So that has been the EU in the state. But we know that there's no harmonious relationship between the governor and the deputy governor. That one is clear, and nobody can deny that fact, because if there's a harmonious relationship, and that's what Constitution says, that in the case like this, that's why we don't have governor without deputy. Because in a case like this, where Mr. Governor, who has been meeting people, attending meetings, and so on and so forth, suddenly fall ill, then let's have a backup that will stand in for me. That's what prompted this issue of having a deputy governor. When you see the roles of deputy governor, there's nothing role attached to the office of deputy governor. What the law says that we shall have a deputy governor. Simple. So let's assume that we have an harmonious relationship between the two. Deputy governor is supposed to be the one under the law that will be in place now. But we don't see Mr. Governor, Mr. Deputy Governor is not acting as the law stipulates. So there's problem in the state, and the problem in the state, Michael, is affecting our productivity in the state.
Exactly.
It's affecting the governance, Angela.
It's exactly what I was going to. You know, many has even come out to threaten. I think there was a particular body, People Democratic People, I think Forever Initiative. They came out to say that if the president, the governor does not come out in a certain period of time, they're going to take over the state. And so many other people have also come out to testify that his absence in the state has caused more harm than good to the people of Ondo. So can you enumerate on this particular point, that particular phrase where it says that his absence has caused more harm than good to the state? Because we also have other people stating that the governor, in as much as he is not in the state, is still doing his work by signing papers and some other things.
And Angela, let me give you a clear example. When the last administration under President Muhammadu Buhari, when they were about leaving office, President Muhammadu Buhari signed this EU of Ondo Deep Sea Ports. And people were like, good, when President Bola Tinubu will come on board, that play will become a reality. Now, since then, we've never had anything about Ondo Deep Sea Port again. Because Mr. Governor is not around. And as Mr. Governor is around now, it will have been a kind of synergy between him and his former colleagues. Don't forget the Honorable Minister of Blue Sea and Marine Economy now happens to be the former governor of Osun State, Oyetola. And so that's what we are saying now. Now, today, where is the state, or what is the state of that particular deep sea port project? We don't know. So a lot of projects are granted in the state because of the absence of Mr. Governor. That's mean we have Mr. Governor around. We'll have been seeing a lot of teams, Mr. Governor moving from one place to another. And then when our attacks happened, I couldn't remember I was here and you were on set with him at that particular time. Mr. Governor flew all the way from Abuja because he was preparing for APC presidential primary. Then it was one of the committees, committee members on that particular call. He flew all the way from Abuja to Ondo and moved down to Owo because of the attack. So that's why we are saying that it is highly conspicuous that the absence of Mr. Governor has caused a lot of things. In fact, has put full stop to governance in the state. Because Mr. Governor is not around. So if people are saying that he's signing papers, governance going on, to me, and this now is my own view, not of KAFTAN, it's wrong. We know that when Mr. Governor is around, things will be moving the way they're supposed to move. Now that, okay, Mr. Governor is not around, Deputy Governor, who's supposed to be one coordinating the affairs of the state, is not in charge as the acting governor. Now, who is now controlling the activities of the state? Who are the commissioners reporting to now at this particular time? And even the State of Assembly, that's supposed to be carrying out what we call oversight function. Let's mean that Mr. Governor is not around. You know, as of Assembly, they have power now to oversee ministries. Each commissioner, what are you doing in your ministry? The money appropriated for you this particular year, how far have you gone with the money? They are not even doing that again. They are after maybe removing Mr. Deputy Governor and so on and so forth. So the absence of Mr. Governor Angela in Ondo State has caused a lot of damages in terms of governance. And these are my words, whether we like it or not. And that's why people are saying that they want to see Mr. Governor. And if they don't see Mr. Governor, let us hear from Mr. Governor. What is going on? You back to Nigeria since 7th of September, and up to now, 2 months, 2 weeks. You are yet to come back to your state, where people voted for you to become the governor, where the constitution said that your seat of power will be. In fact, if we are to look at it very well, Angela, if you are looking at it, because no, I started what the constitution says that the seat of power. If you are to look at it very well, for him to sign any document, is supposed to be signed here in Akure, where we have the seat of power, not in Ibadan, because you are in Ibadan now. Because we can see you as a tenant in Ibadan. Maybe you are there on a visit, but for us to see that you are working and things are going to supposed to be, you have to be in Akure, where the law says that you should be the seat of power. Akure, the seat of power in the state. So people say that, let's hear from Mr. Governor. If it is audio, if it is video, thank God technology is okay now. COVID-19 has given us this of technology. You can be anywhere and be holding meetings with people. If it is in Ibadan, record a short video. Tell the good people of Ondo State, I know I'm here to back to Ondo State as a result of this. Things will be going on well. And that is why we are saying that when you have governor and deputies, things must be going the way they're supposed to go. And that's why the law did not say that a governor will come from party A and deputy will come from party B. Because the law says that if both of you are from the same family, so there should be anything that we call disharmony that can jeopardize the governance in that particular state. So, and again, Angela, you see that if you should be given a ticket now of a political party as a government candidate, the law and the party will give you about 90% to pick whoever you think that can work with you. Not that you see that the process of choosing who becomes a running mate or deputy governor is not the same process of picking who becomes the flag bearer of the party. We know that if you want to become a flag bearer of the party, you have to buy form, go for primaries, slug it out, whether direct, indirect, or consensus. But the issue of who becomes the deputy is a kind of agreement between the candidate at the end of the day and some party members. That's okay, we are zoning the running mate to a particular zone. Who do you think are more party members that can work with you, that you can work with? That's how governors are picking their running mate. Now, if things are not going like this, Angela, we saw what happened in Edo, where deputy governor's office was relocated immediately without his notice. He got there, his governor's office had been locked, calling governor, begging, and so on and so forth. All media is move away from him. All these are no news. Doesn't peculiar to Ondo or Edo alone. We saw it in Kogi State between Akeredolu and Ashuba, his former deputy governor. Is everywhere. Now, if things are going like this, maybe we should start adopting another method. By the time those that want to become the governor or the candidate of the party, let them buy forms. Let's conduct primary. By the time we pick who will be the flag bearer, those that have interest in becoming deputy governors, let them come and buy form again. Because it's like, you know that someone will give you free will. Pick whoever you think that can work with you, so that because the harmony between the governor and the deputy governor stays a lot on the state. But not that we've seen crisis between governor and deputy, not on those states alone. Then by the time they will not buy form, let those who have interest in becoming deputy governor, let them come and buy form again. Let's conduct primary. So by the time we pick them, then there won't be any kind of maybe someone subjecting yourself to another. But for harmonious relationship, that's why we feel that okay, pick anyone. Just like when you are filling your UTME form, nobody will coerce you to fill any school. You are the one that knows the school that you want to go. It's not the JAMB. I've never seen where JAMB would be the one that Michael, okay, this school that I want you to go. It's only supposed to tell me I was a victim. that make you to force to another answer. But in the first place, when you are filling that form, Angela, you pick this choice. They said preferred choice. You see now, you pick the school. So the same thing that, but it's like that pattern is no more working again in Nigeria between governors and their deputies. And if things will continue like that, what is happening will continue to happen, because you see governors on the standstill. You see issue of noise. Is he around? Is he not around? We are going to occupy. But in a sane society, Angela, something like this, deputy is supposed to be the one that will come over without even any noise. It has mean that deputy is acting on this. Nobody will be raising noise. Exactly. Nobody will be raising noise.
Where I want to come in. You made mention of the constitution giving room to the deputy to just be. It's just going to be there.
Yes.
Whenever the power is being designated to him, or her, the person is going to take charge. Don't you think our constitution needs to be amended to give more power to deputy governors, because all this that are happening is affecting the state economically and every other aspect? We are not seeing them exercising their power. They are just there until they are being told to do whatever they are asked to do.
Michael, do you know why I'm laughing? Okay. Let them start the process. Have me on record. It will not see the light of the day. Have me on record, though, it will not see. Do you know the reason? Because when something like this want to put in our constitution, you have to come back to state houses of assembly. That's what the law says. If you are doing something like this, after passing in Abuja, you have to transmit it to all the 36 state houses of assembly. Then we need at least 26 states to pass it into law. You see, you think a governor will sit somewhere and allow his state house of assembly? Now we are still talking about local government autonomy. Now we are still talking about the legislative assembly autonomy. And you think those governors will allow their assembly to pass in such a way that their deputies will have power? Put me on record. It cannot see the light of the day. That's the problem we have today in Nigeria. That's the problem. Now I said it that the office of the governor, of deputy governor, is just written that we are going to have the office of deputy governor. There's a place in our constitution, I can't remember now, that equate the office of the deputy governor and the office of a commissioner are the same thing. That place says that Mr. Governor can delegate assignment to deputy governor or commissioner. So it shows that, that's why you see that even commissioners today, they don't regard deputy governors. I was telling someone that the way commissioners are regarding their governors is the same way that commissioners supposed to be regarding the deputy governors. Because in our law today, Michael, you cannot become a governor without having a running mate. That's what the law says. Because if after picking the candidate of the party, let's say your own party, my party, Angela's party, at the end of the day, you picked who will be your candidate, I picked who will be my candidate, Angela's party pick who will be their candidate. Their nomination can never be valid until they have a running mate. That's what the law says. And that's why I say that there's nobody that will go into electionary period without having a running mate. I've never seen any governorship candidate go into an election without having a running mate. That's what the law, because it's a joint ticket. The law says that this is a vehicle that must have what we call a balancing structure. Because see, if you buy a vehicle of 100 billion naira, Michael, if one tire is missing, that vehicle is going nowhere, no matter the amount. So without deputy governor, there can never be a governor in Nigeria. I was asking someone that, can you tell me, during the inauguration, you see that it's only deputies that will come first to take the oath of office before governor. Even if it is Abuja, you see vice president taking the oath of office before the president. It is only in Kogi during the Akeredolu tenure that the Akeredolu became governor without the deputy governor. If people should go back and see that record, when Akeredolu was taking the oath of office, Faleke did not take over that. So in Nigeria, it was only Akeredolu in the first time, or not second time, first regime that took oath of office without deputy governor in Nigeria.
I think they were not in agreement.
Yeah, they did not come that day to take oath of office. But what I'm saying is that the regards we are giving governors should be the same thing we give the deputy governor. Because as a governor, you can't become a governor. I've never seen anybody, even if you remove a deputy governor today, that office must be occupied. That's what the law says. That, in fact, don't forget, when Yar'Adua died, when Jonathan was made the president of Nigeria, immediately, some months after, it was then I picked Sambu, former governor of Kaduna, to become the vice president. So that office as well must not be vacant. So I don't know why we decided to put our law like this, and to make it easy, because that place doesn't give deputy governors much room to function. That's why I say that you can pick anybody that's okay. I want Michael to be my running mate. We saw what Opes of the man in second time now. He picked the woman to be his running mate. And in fact, some of the governors, Governor Fintiri of Adamawa says, first regime, he picked the man. When he was coming again, he picked the woman. So you see that they have the free will to pick whoever they want to work with them. But the question is, what don't happen at the end of the day? This marriage from day one, then towards electionary period,
there's always a
you will see that something will just happen. If not that, people are still asking today that what happened in Kogi, that Onoja, Onoja also contested under Akeredolu to get primary, but he did not get it up to now, still in APC. So I think that one is unique. Now I think we need to ask White Lion, what did he do that Onoja did not run away. But anytime we are approaching a national period, especially when you say deputy governor that also have interest to succeed his master, you see a lot of EU coming, and all these governors, it has been their pattern, Angela. They don't want their deputies to succeed them. It has been the pattern in, I said it now. We saw what happened between Bola Tinubu and Femi Pedro in Lagos State that led Femi Pedro to leave Bola Tinubu's cabinet as deputy governor. So we've seen scenarios like that governors don't want their deputies to succeed them anytime they are moving out of office. So if some people are dreaming that they should amend the law that will empower deputy governor, that cannot even leave Gwagwalada in Abuja down to Kogi or Abaji to say that they will pass it into law. Not to talk of leaving Abuja to Ondo State or Kaduna or Yobe. You Angela is laughing. I'm telling you, because governors will never have. The governors are powerful in Nigeria. I'm telling you, Michael, governors, they are so powerful in this country. Whatever they decide, it will come to pass, especially in their state. And that's why I did not support them when they were calling for state policing. I said no. If you want us to give you state policing, do devolution of power. Give local government the autonomy. Let them start on their own. Your state house of assembly, give them autonomy. Then you can be talking state policing. You want to have local government under your arm, state assembly under your arm, judiciary under your arm, state policing under your arm, resources under your, everything under your arm. No. So this thing has been there between government. So what is playing out in Ondo State, we can attribute it to next coming governorship election in Ondo State. But to me, it's not too good. You see, let me see, because I'm from Ondo State. Among the states in Nigeria, Ondo State people, we are so enlightened. We are so educated. We understand the system. So I don't believe that all what is playing out is supposed to be playing out in Ondo State. What is happening to Mr. Governor is our governor. He did not become governor or maybe by pronouncement. He became governor through the mandate of his people. And these are the people that is accountable to. My parents sent me to school. They cannot demand for my result now, and I said I cannot give them because they pay my school fees. So the same thing the good people of Ondo say, where is Mr. Governor? They want to know the whereabouts. Is Mr. Governor still in Nigeria? Is he now incapacitated? What is really going on? They really want to know. We need a system. We need a structural system, Angela, in Nigeria. It will activate a feedback from the governed and the people. So that's what we need. That's what we need in Nigeria today.
We're running out of time, but I'll just ask you this last question, and maybe you should do justice to it in just a minute. We know that the elections are already coming forth, just like you earlier stated. And looking at this dispute between the governor and even his deputy, how do you see it affecting probably the party coming towards this election?
Yes, Angela, I think APC, we need to work extra hard in Ondo State now, because you see that it's like even the opposition parties, they are not even making move as expected by some people. People are like, the opposition party, we are not even hearing their voice now. They're supposed to be hammering the APC. But I think APC, and that was why national leadership of the party waited in other time. So that because they've seen that the election is coming, and what is playing out now, although people can even wait till the next election, no, what happened towards the end of this administration, we don't want it to repeat again. So let's allow these parties to just move away. Let's bring in another political party. So APC must know that. No, Akeredolu is not only for the third time, no, because they don't allow it to run for the third time. This is the last lap now, and they will be feeding candidates in fact, based on our calculation now, we've had about 20 aspirants now on IPC. 20 aspirants that want to get the ticket from Akeredolu 2024. So APC need to sit very well now, and by the time they will be campaigning now, they have a lot of questions to answer from the good people of the state. We are not in the dark days, Angela, where some people will do something in the next election, they will cajole you, and everybody will turn all their heads in one place and they will agree. No, people are now conscious now. Because at times going now, people will be rolling out what has happened in the past, the reason why they will not vote for your party. So APC must sit tight in Ondo State, and like I said, that it costs them nothing, Angela, to tell the people where the governor is and to tell the people what is going on with Mr. Governor. But if not because of the issue between him and his deputy, automatically the deputy is supposed to be the one in charge of the state now, running the affairs of the state, and nobody will ask him. So APC need to work very hard. And the issue of leadership of APC calling the assembly members, led Mr. Speaker, to drop this issue of impeachment notice, and they did not drop it, is another thing now that opposition can use against them, that their house is not in order, that people should not do this, because I don't want to control it won't look as if I'm talking for the opposition now. But what is playing out is capable of giving APC tough time. Let me just wrap it like that, giving APC tough time in the next election.
Well, thank you for coming this morning.
Thank you, Angela.
It has been a very intense moment on the analysis.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on the program.
Well, thank you to our audience for always staying tuned. And this is where we'll be drawing the curtain of this episode on Daybreak Africa from our studio right here in Ondo City, and we'll be handing over to our Lagos station. So please stay tuned. I am Angela Daku.
And I always say, stay blessed and productive. I remain Michael Obagiri.